around it. So I went in to Canva and I created a brand new design by clicking on custom size. I measured my tumbler. We're going to do a tumbler today, just real quick. I measured my tumbler and it was 9.3 by 8.2, but I like to have a little wiggle room so I can trim. So I'm going to do this one at 9.3 by 25 by 8.225. Make sure this unit's in inches. And I'm just going to click on that. And this opens up. Okay. Next thing we're going to do is bring our design in. So let's go over here to uploads. And we're going to grab the design. I'm going to put this one on it. And we are now ready to start the process. Now, one of the things I want you to see is that when I click on this image, notice how far apart these lines are from the image. So bring those in. And I'm going to strongly suggest that you zoom in so you can see how close you are. Okay, to the outer edge of that particular thing, because you want to get as close as possible without cutting it off. Okay, I'm pretty darn close, and this thing's a little touchy. So there we go. Okay, now we're going to go do this side. Okay, come over here, and we're going to bring this line in. I think that was the farthest one out. It is. Okay, and then we're going to go to the top. And we're going to bring this one down to the top of that blue feather. Okay. And then we're going to go to the bottom. We're going to do the same thing without cutting anything off. All right. Now you can zoom back out and you can see your image is now going to be measured by the actual image, not all that white space around it. All right. That's step one. All right. Then you make it the size you want that fits your paper. Okay, don't forget, we're going to do a tumbler wrap. So now, one of the things I always tell everybody is just leave a little bit of space at the top and a little bit of space at the bottom if that's where your thing is. This one is a little taller than it is wider. We could actually stretch this out by using the magic resize, but I'm not going to do that today. I'm just doing this real quick. All right, if you wanted to add a text in here, you just click on text. I'm going to use the heading box. I'm going to type in here by highlighting heading. It'd be nice if it would work. Okay, it's highlighted. And we're going to type bills. Okay, it's not working, so let me just do this and just type bills. Fan. Okay, it's in the London font, which I don't want. So I'm going to highlight it, go up here, and I'm going to put it on Bills Mafia. Okay, now I have a Bills fan inside of there. Let's click off of it, center it. Now, as soon as I do something, I want to center this on the paper. So click on that, hit Align to Page Center. Click on it again, Align to Page Middle. That's grayed out, means it's already in the middle. Now I'm going to click on this and do the same thing. Now it's centered. And it's in the middle, and it's perfectly centered and middle to the exact thing I did. Now, obviously, I would do more. I probably would change this. Matter of fact, I'm just going to do that. There we go. That looks a little better, and I can resize it. Okay. And I just did something, so let's align it. All right. So now I have Bill's fan, but as I look at it, let's just zoom in, make sure everything's good. My white is not on the outside of that, but I just don't like the way that looks, so I'm going to bring this in. I can't bring it up, but I can at least bring it in. Okay. Now I can click on Align to Page Center, and it's in the center, and I have a little extra over here than I do over here. And that's just making my eyeballs crazy. And I want it actually down a little bit in the actual blue. So now it's in the blue. That makes me happy. We're going to zoom out. I think that looks great. Now we're going to save it. Now, because I typed something, it renamed it. But if I didn't add anything to the image, it would still be an untitled right here, an untitled 9.325 by 8.225. Always name your images so that you can find them later in your downloads and file. Okay, and we're going to go save this. I have the pro version. So the free version, you wouldn't be able to up this. Free version, go right to the next step, which is PDF print, and download it, and then re-upload it, and then save it as a PNG after you've size it out. Okay, and the reason for that is the free version, you can't do this. Okay, never compress. I never compress, but I do use the transparent background. It's only available, again, only on the pro version. Sorry for y'all. Anything you see with a little crown on it is not going to allow for it to be used if you have the free version. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and download this. And I'm going to go up here and I'm going to download it again. Okay, this time changing this to PDF print. Always flatten. That's on the free version also. Always flatten. Sorry, don't fatten it, flatten it. I don't change it from RGB to CMYK. Some people do. I don't, because I'm test printing this on an RGB profile that's being downloaded as a PNG. So I want to use the same exact thing to do the digital printing format from the same color profile. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and save that as a PDF. All right, so it's downloading as a PDF. My PNG is now downloaded. Now we're going to go into Open Office because it's a free Word equivalent. When you open up Open Office, you're going to have a 8.5 by 11. If you watch my test print video, it takes you through how to change it to this, which is just format, page, and then a page box, page tab pops up. Click on the page tab, change it to landscape, and get rid of your margins. You should already be on letter size paper. All right, so that's where we're at. Next thing we're going to do is insert a picture. So we want that PNG we just did. So you slide down here to Picture from File, and you will see Bill's fan. The one we just did is right here. Okay, and it comes in. It's going to upload. The only problem is when it uploads, if you notice, there's a big margin over here and a big margin over here. So you got to get rid of that. In order to get rid of that, you double click on the picture and you click on crop. Then you move these left, right, top, and bottoms until these lines come into the image. Okay. It takes a few minutes of finagling. You might have to work with it a little bit, and rather than waste your time on this video doing that, I'm going to do one I already did. Sorry, that's in the wrong one. Here we go. One I already did in Word text document, which is this one. You can do it in the drawing format also. It's just, it works a little bit differently. Okay. So, but if you notice, I still have to bring these lines in. See that? So, that's not done in there. So I'm going to go right to the one that I do have done. You want it pretty darn close, okay? And if you go down here to the bottom right-hand corner in Open Office, you'll see it's pretty darn close. It's a little bit off, okay? But it's pretty darn close, all right? So this is the outer one here. This is the outer one here. And that's the outer one there. There's a slight difference. I mean, slight margin around these. So keep that in mind when we go to size this out. So maybe I want to size it a little bit bigger. Now, in order to size, you double click on it, and this picture instructional box, or yeah, that's what I want to say. This box pops up. And it's the operations box, and you get to do different things. If you were going to crop it, this is where you come and you click on crop, and then you do that stuff. That's what I just showed you. But we're going to go back to type. We want to keep the ratio. Okay. Now, my height is 8.13. My height is the biggest that I can print on the paper that's 8.5 inches tall. So this image is going to leave some space, a white space on both sides of it. So I know that ahead of time. So this image would be the only thing. If I wanted this to be a little bit taller, if I have the click ratio, clicked and I change this number to 8.2, it does make it bigger and it keeps the scale of the image. Now, let's say that I wanted to stretch this out. I can do that also by clicking off a keep ratio and now make this a little bit wider. So maybe we make it 9.1 and let's see what it looks like. It doesn't look bad at all. Now I have a 9.1 wide, so I'm still going to have a little white band on each side of the sunflower. And I'm going to have a little tiny white band at the top and bottom, but I have a decent image. So your choice, if you don't mind skewing, if the image itself is skewable, then you could do that. But that is how you size things out, okay? So number one, in my first video, I show you how to measure something, which is extremely important. And one of the key points here is you always, always, always want to measure every single substrate you're going to do. Don't assume they're all the same. They're not, especially t-shirts. T-shirts come from different manufacturers. They might all be marked large, but I guarantee you a large in a Harley Davidson shirt is not the same size as a large in a Hanes shirt, okay? So make sure you're measuring the space that you're subbing to, and I gave you some tips and tricks in that video. Now I'm teaching you how to actually size something out in Open Office. Google Docs, basically same concept. Word, basic same concept. The key takeaway here is crop the image, okay, so that you don't have a bunch of white space, because if you have the white space, that's what you're actually measuring. If the image can be skewed and it's something like this where it's kind of a plain Jane image where it doesn't have a whole lot going on, there's not a lot, there's no background, there's no nothing, I'm putting it on a white tumbler, that's fine. Or I'm putting it on a t-shirt. If I was putting this on a t-shirt, I would obviously change the size again. But this would actually work on a t-shirt, okay? On a lady's t-shirt, maybe even a men's small or medium. I don't think the large, it would be big enough, but a small, it would look okay. A kid's t-shirt, this would be okay. So, and those of you with regular size formats, you have 8.5-inch paper limitation, so keep that in mind. One of your numbers has to be underneath 8.3 or lower, okay? So, and I said 8.3, you heard me correctly. I know it's 8.5 inches, but you have a built-in margin that the printer doesn't print unless you're using borderless printing, okay? All right, I hope that helps. I hope you have a really great day, and I hope that those of you having sizing issues, that this will help you. If it doesn't, post something in the comments and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Have a really great day, everybody. Tap, tap.